Hey, this is Ruth Hartunian Allenbaugh, Ravings and Cravings, coming to you from Chubby Dog Coffee. I'm here with the owner, Adam Rondo.
You said it right.
I did. Yeah. Do I get brownie points for that?
At least a free coffee.
Actually, I got free coffee.
Yeah. So
I got to show you guys this mug. This is so cute. It's the dog for which the company is named for.
the mascot.
Yes.
Everything.
Rest in peace.
Bella. Yeah. Sadly.
So give us the commercial on the front end, and we're going to do this a few times. Location, address, phone number, your social media presence, all the important things so that people find you.
Sure. I would love that a lot.
And I'm going to drink.
Well, yeah. While I'm babbling, you drink. You enjoy.
Good.
Yeah. So Chubby Dog Coffee. We have 2 locations now. We just recently this year opened up in Danielson, but the OG, the flagship that we're broadcasting out of, is in Putnam at 164 Main Street on the strip. Well, we're on like the one-way side where nobody ever goes. So go that way. It's much more cool down here. And then our new one in Danielson is 144 Main Street, right across from Bank Hometown. You can't miss us. A big lit up sign at that one. And yeah, we've been there for about 6 months. This one for about 3.5 years now. We're on the socials, Instagram and Facebook. I check regularly, and some of my younger staff does my TikTok for me because I just don't care enough. I know I have to, so I just gave them the login. And I was like, do things. Do the jumpy video where you jump in and you turn into a coffee mug or whatever the hell it is. So, yeah, we're on all the socials, chubbydogcoffee.com. Of course, you can order bags of coffee from there. We'll ship them right to your house. We're just that convenient because we do roast everything here in our OG Putnam location every single Monday. So, yeah, we're full-service coffee.
So, like, if I came in on Monday, I will smell and I'll hear all of the things going on.
Very loud and very hot in here.
Ooh,
yes.
That would be...
You can dress for summer in the winter and walk in here, and it's still uncomfortably warm.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious about, like, what got you to coffee? Like, what has been your journey as far as, getting to coffee land?
Many mistakes. Definitely got me here. I started actually doing radio. This was a thing that I love doing, but it requires a lot of moving around. Oftentimes, if you work in radio, your resume has a lot of W's and K's on it. One of the states and towns you have to move to because it's the gig. You just pay sucks at the first one, so you either get fired and they pay somebody less, or you quit for like $500 more in a different state and town. So my wife was not a fan of the moving around lifestyle, and we're both from the Putnam or the northeastern Connecticut corner. So it's kind of a reasonable spot to settle down after I got fired my last radio gig for COVID. This was always kind of a retirement plan for me, if you will. I thought I'd have a long, successful, lucrative career in radio. I would bow out gracefully, like at the 20-year mark. I'd open up a small coffee shop. My radio fame would make the coffee shop instantly
Everyone
profitable.
would show up.
I would never have to worry about anything in my life. And then I would kind of gracefully work my way back into radio because I was being begged to be back into it. That was the plan. Yeah. And then COVID happened. I got fired and couldn't find another radio gig. And the ones that I were getting offered were somehow making less than I was making and living in a more expensive place. And I was like, well, that's not going to work. So, we had some money kind of stashed away. And I decided to invest all of it into being self-employed. In one of the most expensive states in the world. Yeah.
I wonder what your wife say about that.
Well, she was thrilled that we weren't going to move it around because all of our friends are here. And she likes that part of it. And it's not that I don't like my friends, but I also like the idea of moving around. It was cool. It was I'm basically being paid to check out the country. It was fun. But it just wasn't for her. So there was already an existing coffee roastery here in this location in Putnam called Ben's Beans. And I remember I had called them because I knew that they had the same one of the 2 roasters I was considering when I was going to open up my own, start a new one. They had it, so I called just to be like, hey, why'd you pick that one? Because the one they have is very expensive, and as far as I could tell, it's just for aesthetic purposes. It's a very beautiful piece. It's meant for a place like this where the roaster's on the floor because it looks like something that's decorative as well as functional, whereas the other one was about $20,000 less. But it looks like a piece of industrial equipment you put, behind a wall. So I called, and we were just kind of going on about this roaster and how they got their start and all that stuff. And then he pitched the idea. He's like, well, what if we were looking to sell? I was like, well, you might save me a lot of time and issues.
Mm-hmm.
So over the course of a few months, we negotiated to a price that we were both happy at. And I bought out the business, immediately changed the name and all the coloring in here because it was very dark and the light. Even when the lights were on, you could barely tell that they were open. So we splashed a bunch of Nickelodeon orange and lime green
It's
all over
awesome.
the walls, and
It's beautiful.
right.
People, you need to come into the shop because the vibe is very friendly. There are so many. I can't believe the menu you have.
Thank you.
The scope of it is incredible. So definitely talk about the menu and tell people what you have to offer.
Yeah. So obviously, all of our coffee is roasted here in house every single week. So
To me,
anything.
As a foodie person, that is a draw.
Oh yeah.
Because anything that's house made, house roasted, house created, anything,
It's always better.
it's better.
It's always going to be
I
better.
have the house,
the Floridian
the
with
Floridian,
our house-made orange flavoring in it.
which sounds so strange, orange and coffee, but this works, and it's so tasty, and it's smooth, and it's sweet. This is a great way to
It
wake
does
up
what
in
it
the
has to
morning.
be. Yeah. I mean, look, everyone thought dill pickle potato chips were stupid at first, but then you ate the first one and went, "Oh, I get it now."
Yeah, I think I'll have another.
Yeah, no, I think I'll have the entire bag, please.
Sure. Yeah.
Plus, and citrus and coffee go together. It's a very complementary. Like espresso is usually served with a wedge of lemon. It's the oils in the rind bring out the taste of the espresso in a great way. So the Floridian was kind of a pull off of that concept, if you will. But yeah, the menu, it is large. There's a lot to
It
pick
is.
from.
It's huge.
But I used to also be a bartender because radio doesn't pay any money.
So you gotta go get some tips.
You gotta actually make some money to
Yeah.
pay your bills. So being a bartender, obviously there's a just plethora of boozy beverages that are out there in the world. And the more you work in bartending, the more you just, everyone's got a different drink that they like. So there's always this wide variety of tastes that people have. So that was kind of the inspiration for like, oh, we should just make a menu like that, because you can make a small menu and people will typically deviate towards it anyway, because most people when they come in here either know exactly what they want because it's all they ever drink, or if they're looking for something new, even if you only have 5 things on the menu, they'll pick one. Right, so there's no, you can kind of guide their flavor path.
Yeah.
But we wanted it to be a little bit more robust, something that, like you said, was one of the first things you brought up when you came in here. You're like, that's a huge menu.
It is.
So at least
yeah.
it puts something in your head that you remember. So that with the bright orange colors, all the nostalgia from the 2000s and the 90s, we try to make it like a thing. When you first walk in here, I want everything that happens to you in here to just right in your mind, and it never goes away.
Yeah, it's bright, it's cheerful, you have free Wi-Fi. I'm on your network.
Already on it.
I'm on it. I'm on it. And then as far as the menu, I really like the fact that there are a lot of different options. So like for the person who doesn't want sugar in their coffee, there's sugar-free options.
Yes.
You have some gluten-free things. You have pastries. You have things that people can eat, right? So you don't have to just come in and drink.
Nope. Can if you want, but yeah, we've got some pastries. We partner up with Leona's Baking Co. right here in Putnam.
I didn't even know there was. I'm always looking for a bakery, so that's like
She's phenomenal.
it's on my radar.
I love Lindsay. She's fantastic. If you ever do get the chance, obviously you start here at Chubby Dog and get your coffee.
course.
Then go see Lindsay over at Leona's. You'll love them. But yeah, we like also kind of doing that local thing. All of our tea we source from the Nomad's Garden right in Danielson.
Oh.
She's a local tea gal. She makes phenomenal stuff. So I just go to her and I say, hey, somebody said they want something that tastes like this and this, and she goes, I got you. 2 weeks later, I get a big bag of exactly what
Wow.
we were talking about. So she's phenomenal.
That's
with
really
that.
nice that you can get some local flavors in there. And for people who are in Willimantic, because WILI is in Willimantic, I did get to try your coffee beans at the Willimantic Food Co-op.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they carry it there. So
Yeah, we
you
do.
guys, you can go get your Chubby Dog there if you don't want to come all the way to, is it Danielson?
Danielson's
or
only 25-ish minutes away. It's Route 6. Just go a little faster. No one will catch
It's
you.
Route 6. And then it's through Chaplin for me.
Well,
and then,
yeah, all those other places, sure.
Actually, put it on your schedule because the leaves are beautiful right now.
Exactly.
And you do the little back roads thing. It was gorgeous watching the sun come
Yeah.
up when I got here. And then now when I go out, the lighting is going to be even more magnificent. I mean, we don't have to go very far
No.
to see beautiful things.
No.
Not really.
I mean, Chubby Dog is beautiful. You said it yourself when you walked in here, so.
It is. And it looks like you decorate for that. Like, it's decorated right now for the Halloween time. But you'll probably decorate for other upcoming holidays. So, like, it's always changing, right?
Yes, I mean the Halloween stuff. A lot of it's going to stay up through Christmas. We're gonna. I love Halloween and I love Christmas. So
then you keep it up.
Yeah, the Nightmare Before Christmas idea, where both of them are just existing at the same time.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, we're gonna throw some Christmas lights in the spider webs, and we'll make it. Yeah,
good
I
idea.
love it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. That was kind of the goal of this place. Was like, and somebody finally said it to me. It's been 3.5 years, but I finally got someone to say that when they hang out in here, it makes them feel like when they were a kid hanging out in their friend's parents' house, like in their basement, in like the game room. He's like, that's what this felt like. And I was like, that's what I wanted! I literally had a friend when I was younger. His name was Andrew, and his parents had this completely finished basement. And, you know, like it had a bar, a pool table, there was a drum kit, there was TV that we could play our you know, Nintendo 64 on. There was all this like fun stuff. And when we had like a sleepover, remember those chairs that they folded 3 times, and there was like the rounded headrest, and then it would fold out to like a bed?
Oh yeah.
He had a bunch of those. So whenever we slept over, we'd fold those open in the basement, and we would just play like Pokemon cards. We'd play
times.
like just everything that anyone that's 36 feels like. Oh yeah, those were the days. And like that was when I made this place. Like that was my vision, was his basement. It's like I want one person to just go,
yeah, you made it.
And finally, to 3.5 years, and that one time I heard it, I was like, everything's worth it.
All right, so you guys in Radio Land, you know, Adam has already talked about like the colors and some of the decor. It is sharing a wall with a game place too. So do you want to talk about like what else is here too besides coffee and
yeah, so other than all that amazing stuff that we do, we also have a game room as part of this side. It is just seating and video games and board games, and we have a big tabletop game that we're currently using right now for this, where we run a weekly D&D group, Dungeons and Dragons, on Saturdays.
My son does that, yeah.
So we do that every Saturday here, starting at noon, as well as the Danielson location. We do it there on Tuesdays and Thursday nights from 5 to 9. You know, the whole point of this was, I grew up a nerd. I love video games. I loved all these, you know, old Nickelodeon, old Cartoon Network, all that stuff from my childhood. I basically just wanted a room full of it that people could just come and enjoy. Either if they're my age and it's just nostalgic for them, or people that are my age now have kids that they're like, oh, this is N64, so they want to show their kids like the video games that they had growing up. So I wanted that vibe here, and it's just when I finally see like a, you know, some like 5-year-old kid come up and not know what a video game cartridge for like a Super Nintendo is, like, what is this thing? And I'm like, oh my god, let me show you something. You blow in the cartridge and put it in, and they're like, why'd you do that? I'm like, because it makes it work. And it's just I love that feeling that we get from this place. So
coffee and culture, huh?
Kind of, yeah, just a haven for all the weirdos, all the nerds. If you just want to come hang, you know, that was what this space was for. It's a coffee shop. Like, I mean, I'm not saying come loiter, you still got to get something, but coffee shops were always meant for like just hanging out. And it was, you know, back in the day, there was a cafe here in town called Victoria Station, and that was,
I remember that. Sure.
That was the place, especially if you were under 21, you couldn't drink. They
Yeah.
were open until like 11 o'clock almost every day.
Nobody's open late anymore.
No one is. So, and we're not either. I'm not saying that I'm doing that now, but it's also not worth it. We've tried. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
The only thing that we do here for that is on Thursday nights we stay open in the Putnam location until 9, and we have Nerd Night. So 5 to 9, we just open the place up. We say, get everything. Come here, be nerdy, do whatever you want to do. Whatever we don't offer, bring it in. I don't care. Let's just all come together and hang out.
So it's kind of like you're offering the space to the community so that
Pretty
they
much.
can come together and enjoy one another's company.
Yeah. It's just
together.
That's what it's supposed to be, and that's what coffee shops were meant to be. It's a communal hangout spot.
Yeah.
So we're trying to pull that together with the gaming room side here.
Great.
And I mean, what's better than coffee and video games? You know, it kind of just merges us all together.
Yeah.
And
So
it's worked.
Well, I just want to make sure that people who came into the interview a little bit later know where we are. I'm
How
here
dare
with
you.
Adam Rondo, and I'm here at Chubby Dog Coffee, and we are in. Did you say is Putnam or Danielson?
Yeah, this is the Putnam one.
This is Putnam.
Yeah, and the Danielson one is pretty much the same as this one. So nerdy coffee, all that good stuff. Just higher ceilings, and we have alcohol at that one. The Danielson one's also a bar.
Okay.
So we do some live entertainment. We do karaoke on Saturday nights. So that's been a huge smash hit. Starting to get into the live music world, but the stage isn't huge. Putting a drum kit up there is proven to be fun. So we make it work. It's just it's tight. So the Danielson shop is still like this one. Again, we have all the same offerings there that we have at the Putnam location. We roast here in Putnam. We don't roast in Danielson, but we bring our coffee over to it. But same coffees, teas, Red Bull lemonades, all that stuff that we serve here, also available there. All the pastries, and then we added alcohol to the mix there as well. So.
And speaking of alcohol, I should have said this at the front end. This program is sponsored by Elm Package Store in Willimantic. So thank you to the Elm Package Store people for saying yay for Ravings and Cravings. I really appreciate that. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
You can also get cold drinks, so it's not just all hot things. You can get cold, you can get sweet, you can get things to eat, you can get all kinds of goodies here. It's a really beautiful space. I would like you to talk a little bit about the process of roasting.
Sure.
To me, that is very interesting. So, like, how do you pick what you want to roast different kinds of flavors of your coffee? How does that work?
It can be confusing. Typically, when I first started, we had what was called a sample roaster, as well as this big one that we have out here now. I ended up selling it because it didn't have a purpose that was necessary anymore. So when you're sourcing coffee or green coffee, which is like when it's raw, right? We use a big distributor out in New Jersey. They source ethically, but they source all over the world. So we basically, I have a contact at that place, and I call them up and I say, here's what I'm looking for. What do you suggest? Because they also they roast everything they get in multiple ways, so that they know, like, okay, this particular coffee, when roasted at this temperature, when it's a light roast, it tastes like this. When it's a medium roast, it tastes like this.
That's a big world out there for that.
Huge. I mean, it's
huge.
insane. So they're also doing a lot of this pre-roasting and testing for their customers to kind of say, like, this. If you're looking for something with these flavor notes, we can guide you towards this, and then you work from there. We use, obviously, our big roaster here connected to a program called Cropster, and basically what it is, it's this program that while you're roasting, it reads data being given to it from the roaster, measuring the temperature of both the atmosphere in the roaster and the beans themselves by using these two little diodes that are inside the roasting chamber.
Oh my gosh!
It's very.
I didn't know so much when into just having a great cup of coffee.
I'm like the Walter White of coffee. And so it's reading that temperature of those two elements plus what's called a rate of rise of those two temperatures, which means that you set a timer. For us, it's a 10-second window. And over the past 10 seconds, it averages out the difference in the temperature of those two elements.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you're monitoring 4 things at once.
Yeah.
And what it does at the end of it is it creates a graph, a chart, and it reads all that, and you can see the progression along the way. It's all in real time. And then from that, you can replicate that chart. So the next time you roast, basically, if you liked the flavor of that coffee that you made, it kind of lays in the background, and you're basically letting the new data roll over it. So you're trying to match it.
So you're reproducing the
You're
same
reproducing
thing.
it every time.
Okay.
So that's what gives us consistency in our flavor.
There we
but
go.
when you're trying to just come up with a new flavor for a new coffee you've never roasted before, for us, because we've been roasting for so long, we have such a backlog of different coffees at different temperatures, medium, light, darks, from so many different places, that we pretty much have roasted a lot of stuff that we're gonna get. So if, let's say, we get a new Ethiopian coffee, we've roasted Ethiopians before, so we'll go back, we'll pick one of those profiles that's closest to the region that this particular new bean is from, and we'll try to match that profile as best we can, see what it tastes like, and if we like it, roll with that and just save it. And if we want to change something, like, I wish it was a little more of this, a little more of that, based on what element you're looking for, you'll either go lighter or darker. You'll give it more time at the end, in what's called the development time, which is the very end of the roast.
Quite a complicated
It's a lot.
process.
But
How'd you learn? I mean, you went all the way from radio to this.
I know,
that's-
I'm a genius. Yeah.
0 to 500.
You gotta do what you gotta do. It's business.
Well, and when I went to the co-op, I was like, I need to do my homework, so I got your Bella roast.
Yes.
Is that correct? Is
Yep.
that the right name? So I tried that, and black, it's got a little sourness to it, but it's a mild flavor as far as the coffee, and with a pumpkin spice creamer,
Classic.
it was like,
Yeah.
it was nice and smooth. It was so tasty. It was excellent. I like the Floridian better. And I wanted to mention that you do have some house-made syrups.
We do.
For me, I'm a fan of like house-made stuff. Like if it's coming from somewhere else, not so willing to try. But house-made, like, to me, that's the key. So you make the syrup for the house-made Floridian.
Yep, the orange is one of the ones that we make here, as well as a vanilla bourbon.
Yeah,
no,
that sounds
not
good
real
too.
bourbon, sadly. But the Dennison shop you can.
Was
do
it?
that.
Is it extract?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah, just blending of extracts kind of makes it have that vanilla bourbon
Okay.
flavor. But yeah, we make those in this at this location, and then over at our Danielson location, we have even more house-made flavors from one of my staff. Her name's Luca. She's fantastic. She's a real alchemist. She makes some just incredibly flavored syrups over there. So we have more options at that one for
man.
house-made.
All right.
Yeah.
Got that on my radar too.
Some level of exclusivity for both is pretty much what I was going for, like a reason to come to one or the other.
So kind of like a pinball machine, you want people to go like back and forth
Yeah.
between the two.
Oh, you want this flavor? Guess what? You
You
have to
gotta
go
over
there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to your name of your business, the address, your social media presence, your phone number. I don't know if we even said the hours at the front end.
Probably not.
So let's get all let's get that in there.
Yeah, so it's Chubby Dog Coffee Company. Again, we have two locations, 164 Main Street in downtown Putnam, or 144 Main Street in downtown Danielson. We are open every single day at 7 a.m. Depending on what location you go to, the earliest we close at either one is 5 p.m. Here in Putnam, we're open until 9 on Thursdays only, and then in Danielson, we're open at least until 9 Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and then every other day is 5 o'clock. But again, open at 7 a.m. every day, both locations. We are Chubby Dog Coffee on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm pretty sure. You'll find us if you know how to use TikTok. You'll find us.
Yeah.
I don't. My staff does. And chubbydogcoffee.com is where you can obviously go for all that information. It's all on there.
Do you do phone-in orders or
No.
anything ahead?
I do not.
Okay, but do you have a
Used to,
phone
but-
number? You have a phone number if people need to call?
I do, but it's just my cell phone.
Okay,
so
so
if
we
you
don't
want it,
wanna-
just Google me. It's
Yeah,
on
just-
there.
just-
sadly.
Adam Rondo, Rondeau. That's where you want to.
Yeah, I made that mistake early on by not getting a Google number and used my cell
Oh.
phone as the business number. So, oopsie.
Yeah.
So it's already out there, so I guess there really is no reason not to give it out. But I'd rather just them go to the website or social media anyway and reach out, because honestly, half the time I don't even know where my phone is. Oh, we're using it.
It's
I
right
don't even
now.
know where it is.
It's on the
So
tip, yeah.
I may miss your call, so it's better to just shoot an email or a DM on socials, because then when I actually get back to my phone, I'll see it. You're much more likely to get me that way.
All right.
So do that.
All right.
And if you're a business looking to, if you need coffee, a coffee provider, we are also a wholesaler.
Oh.
So obviously,
Good
like
to
you
know.
said, you went to Willimantic Food Co-op. They sell our beans, but we also source coffee for like making drinks at other locations. Deviant Donut down in Mystic in the Village uses us.
Really?
Yeah, Flower Girl
Oh.
Cafe and Bakery
In Hebron, I know that.
They're awesome.
Oh,
they
they
gave
do
us
that.
huge shout outs on all their stuff. So Michelle,
Sweet.
Flower Girl staff, thank you
and
so
know,
much.
She's up for a Crazy's
Yeah.
Market Restaurant Association award. Got
I
the
know.
good-
I'm riding her success.
the
I don't
good
care.
stuff.
Yeah.
Ride the wave.
Yep.
We can share, right?
I plan to. I'll be right behind her. Let's go. We're also up in Millbury, Mass, at the Cake Shop Cafe out there. They also use our coffee.
All right.
I think that's everyone that serves
So
it.
far.
So far.
So far.
I'm growing the empire. So yeah, if anything, you can always reach out to us on the website as well. I have a wholesale spot on there. Or just, again, if you Google Chubby Dog Coffee, you'll see my cell phone right on there. Just call or text me and we can work something out. But, I try to stay competitive with the pricing for our wholesalers. But it's these days getting a little bit, it's tough, but
Yeah.
we still make it work, and it's better. It's better. I mean,
And you guys, you can come into the store, and you can also go into the co-op. You can buy the whole bean, or you can grind it on site, at least at the co-op. But here you can buy it both ground and.
yep, we'll grind it. Everything is sold whole bean here, but we'll grind it. We have, obviously, grinders here, so we can grind them if you buy them here.
Oh, and it's a chilly morning, and then coming into the shop, it's warm and toasty and smelling caffeinated. That's a nice smell.
Just breathing the air in here gets you caffeinated. So yeah, we really try hard for that.
It is. Well, and thank you so much for letting me come to visit you today. I see that you are well connected to your community, and that you're here to serve people,
Trying.
and that you are also offering an amazing product, and your coffee is excellent. And
Thank you.
I don't say that easily because I'm kind of a snob when it comes to coffee things. I like things a certain way.
I'm with you.
But you don't get to be my age and not have preferences.
Look, every time we have to go anywhere for coffee, if they're like, oh, there's a drive-thru, I'm like, Next.
No,
Next.
no.
If
Rather
we don't have
not.
to get out of the car and go in and see somebody behind the counter with like 9 piercings and blue hair, I'm out. I want that. That's how I know it's going to be good.
Well, thanks for being with me this day. I appreciate it. This is Ruth Hartunian Allenbaugh, Ravings and Cravings, signing off here on Good Company, WILI.